Hello, everyone. We're back. It's me. I'm back on the couch in my home in El Cerrito, California. I hope that you are well. I hope that you are having fun in your homes, doing the fun lessons that your teachers are giving you, and also exploring some new things maybe. Maybe spending some quality time away from your screens once in a while. Maybe. My daughter just did a giant Lego set. Maybe you're doing that kind of thing too. Um, Let's read. So we have already started in New York with our friend Dodsworth and the duck. We then took a boat to Paris, France with Dodsworth and the duck. And remember, now he's wearing his cute acorn cap, which I think is just the best thing in the world. And now we're going to London. Now, London is the capital of England, and England is an island. It's most of an island. It's part of what's called the United Kingdom, and it is considered part of Europe. So we're still in Europe, which is where France is as well. Let's check it out on our globe. Hello, globe. That happened. Did you see that the stand of the globe just fell behind the couch? Okay, we're going to leave it there for my cat to discover. So here's our globe. If we are now, so where we just left was, hi, Europe. We left France. So France is here. And this orange island up here is where England is. So we are now in a hot air balloon, if you recall, and we're just going to fly zoop, across this body of water, which is called the English Channel. It's a channel of water. So let's see what happens when our friends find themselves in London. Here's our, oh yeah, we don't have a stand. We'll see if that dramatically falls during this video. That would be exciting. Okay. Dodsworth in London by our good friend Tim Egan. Thank you again, Tim, for okaying these readings, keeping it all on the up and up. Okay. Dodsworth in London, written and illustrated by Tim Egan. There's our title page. Copyright page. This one was originally written in 2009, updated to this edition in 2014. Chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4, A Foggy Morning, The Bus Station, Touring London, and Buckingham Palace. Yeah, we're going to a palace in this one. Here we go. Chapter 1, A Foggy Morning. Dodsworth and the duck had traveled all the way from Paris, France. As the balloon floated over England, Dodsworth saw Buckingham Palace through the fog. "That's where the Queen lives," he said. The duck was impressed. "Let's stay there," said the duck. "We can't stay there," said Dodsworth. "Why not?" said the duck. "Because it's Buckingham Palace," said Dodsworth. "It's not a motel." Yeah, England actually has a royal family. They have a queen, and they have princes and some princesses now, and some little grandchildren who are little kid princes and princesses. It's pretty great. Okay. They don't really run the country, though. They're kind of just for fun now, for show. Okay. They do a lot of charity. The balloon landed in Trafalgar Square. "Now, stay close to me," said Dodsworth. "I don't want to leave you in the fog." "Who said that?" said the duck. "Very funny," said Dodsworth. They walked down Charing Cross Road. "This is the best," said Dodsworth. "Where should we go first?" "Food sounds good," said the duck. "I agree," said Dodsworth. So here we are in London. It's a fine-looking cow with a nice top hat. The fog is real. It's very foggy in London, and we know about that here in the Bay Area. We've seen fog in our time. They strolled near Piccadilly Circus. It's not a circus, it's just a neighborhood. They saw a classic old pub. "Perfect," said Dodsworth. They walked into the pub. The pub was very loud. Some folks were eating. Some folks were throwing darts. Some folks were playing cards. The duck liked the darts. The duck liked the darts. Ah! The duck looked at a dart. Dodsworth looked at the duck. "Don't even think about it," he said. The duck smiled. The duck grabbed the dart. Dodsworth jumped at the duck. He wasn't fast enough. The duck threw the dart. You see it there? Ah! Where's my finger? There it is. That's the dart that he threw. Where's it gonna land? The dart bounced off the waiter. The waiter dropped a pie on a lady's head. It was not good. The pub became very quiet. The crowd stared at Dodsworth and the duck. It was time to leave. Look at these people. Oh, they're not people. Look at the pig. Look at that poor cow lady. Oh man, look at that poor pie, whatever that is. Chapter 2, the bus station. "I can't believe you," yelled Dodsworth. "We just got here and you're already causing trouble." "I'm sorry," said the duck. Dodsworth didn't believe him. A large red double-decker bus drove by. "That's the greatest bus I've ever seen," said the duck. Dodsworth smiled. "And the perfect way to see London," he said. "I can keep an eye on you." They really do have buses that are 2 stories tall in London. They're kind of famous for it. Isn't that cool? I've even ridden on one. Maybe you have too. They walked to the bus station. The duck saw another duck in the crowd. The other duck looked exactly like him, except for his fancy hat. See the hat that that duck has? It's not an acorn. It's an actual big old hat with a feather. Many folks got off the bus. Many folks got on the bus. The area became very crowded. "Let's wait for the next bus," said Dodsworth. The duck didn't hear him. The duck got on the bus. Dodsworth didn't see him. The duck saw Dodsworth on the sidewalk. "Uh-oh," he said. The bus started pulling away. "I'll meet you at Buckingham Palace," shouted the duck. See him there in the window? Dodsworth didn't hear him. The bus disappeared into the fog. Uh-oh. There's our Dodsworth. His suitcase, looking the other way. Bye, duck. Dodsworth turned and saw the other duck, the one with the fancy hat. He looked exactly like his duck. Dodsworth thought it was his duck. "Hey, where did you get that hat?" asked Dodsworth. "It was a gift from the Queen," said the wrong duck. He spoke with a British accent. Dodsworth laughed. "Nice accent," he said. "Very convincing." He still thought it was his duck. What is that? The duck got on the bus. Dodsworth didn't see him. I just went the wrong way in this book. Heavens. Chapter 3, Touring London. Another bus pulled up. The wrong duck walked up to the top of the bus. Dodsworth followed him. "This is the greatest," said Dodsworth. The duck smiled politely. "You're awfully quiet," said Dodsworth. "Is everything okay?" "Splendid," said the duck. "I don't believe we've met. I'm the royal duck," he said. "The Queen's duck." Dodsworth laughed. "You're ridiculous," he said. He still thought it was his duck. The bus drove around London. "Hey, look," said Dodsworth. "It's London Bridge." "Actually, that's Tower Bridge," said the duck. "London Bridge is just up the river a bit." Dodsworth looked at him. "How do you know that?" he asked Dodsworth. "It's common knowledge," said the duck. Dodsworth just shook his head. A moment later, Dodsworth said, "Look, there's Big Ben. Now that's a clock." "Indeed," said the duck, "although its proper name is the clock tower. Big Ben is the name of the giant bell inside. That's a real giant clock in London." "What?" said Dodsworth. "How in the world do you know that?" "I studied at Oxford," said the duck. Dodsworth looked confused. Oxford is a very fancy university in England. Okay, what's going on here? Asked Dodsworth. You never went to Oxford. How is your accent so perfect? Why aren't you being silly, like always? I'm afraid I don't understand, said the duck. I'm the royal duck, Her Majesty's duck. I honestly have no idea who you are. And as the bus drove along the River Thames, Dodsworth finally realized that this was not his duck. Dodsworth went into a panic. Where's my duck? He shouted. I have a friend who looks exactly like you, except for the hat, and I've lost him. This can't be happening. No, said the royal duck. Stay calm. We'll find your friend. I'll have the bus turn around. Look at him. He's got his hands up at his head. He's freaking out. The bus raced back to the station. The duck was not there. What am I going to do? Said Dodsworth. He was very upset. I'll ring Scotland Yard, said the duck. That's the police department there in London. A moment later, a police car pulled up. Okay, asked a detective. What does the duck look like? Like him, shouted Dodsworth. He looks exactly like him. No, are they going to find him? Dodsworth was beside himself. I don't even know where to start looking, he said. We'll find him, said the royal duck. Trust me. They all hopped in the car and started searching all over London. There's the police car. Down by Parliament, over in Kensington Gardens, up by the Royal Academy. There was no sign of him anywhere. They looked for 8 hours straight. The sun was setting. The duck was nowhere to be found. Dodsworth fought back tears. I can't take this, he said. What if he's hurt? What if he's scared? What if I never find him? He was a nervous wreck. Have you ever been so nervous about something? Look at poor Dodsworth. Chapter 4, Buckingham Palace. At the same time, look at this, Dodsworth's duck was just fine. He was slowly making his way to Buckingham Palace. He saw a Shakespeare play in the park. He had crumpets and tea for lunch. He splashed in the fountain near Pershing Square. He was asked to leave Pershing Square. Look at the pig's face. Do you see? Hey, Buster. He finally made it to Buckingham Palace. The guards at the palace were very serious. The duck did a little dance to make them laugh. The guards opened the gate. Meanwhile, still searching, Dodsworth was sick with worry. I can't believe this, he whispered. I can't believe this, he whispered. I've lost my friend. He dropped to the ground in grief. There, said the royal duck. I'll figure this out. Here we go. He thought for a moment. Perhaps the Queen can help, he said. Driver, take us to the palace at once. They raced to Buckingham Palace. The royal duck ran up to the gates. Hold on there, said the guard. But I am the royal duck, said the duck. Nice try, said the guard. The royal duck has been here for hours, said the guard. But you do look exactly like him. Wait a minute, said Dodsworth. My duck, he shouted. He burst through the gates. The royal duck followed him. Do you see what happened? The duck went in and pretended like they thought he was the royal duck, so they let him in. But now the real royal duck is here, and he's like, I'm the royal duck. Dodsworth ran into the grand ballroom. His duck was dancing on the piano. The Queen was clapping along. You're right, said the royal duck. He does look exactly like me. Oh, look at the queen. She's a cow, and she is really enjoying that. Dodsworth ran and hugged the duck. The duck didn't really like to be hugged. Is this your duck? Asked the queen. He's positively delightful. Look at her crown. She's got a nice crown on. Looks like it has a big diamond in the front. Everything was explained to everyone. It took about 20 minutes. What a wonderful story, said the queen. You must stay here for the week, I insist. Dodsworth and the duck were speechless. The royal duck showed them to their room. It was the most magnificent room they'd ever seen. Enjoy your stay, he said. We can't thank you enough, said Dodsworth. The thick fog rolled in again. Oh, they have a balcony. I'm just happy you're okay, said Dodsworth. Who said that? Said the duck. Dodsworth laughed and hugged the duck again. And this time, as the night fell on London, the duck actually hugged him back. And there they are on the balcony looking out. The end. Applauso in silencio for Dodsworth in London. So I notice in this one, we don't have a clue how we're going to get to our next location or what that location is. And I actually, I know what it is. Do you want me to tell you? Or should I leave it a surprise? Raise your hand if you want me to tell you. Okay. Raise your hand if you want me to leave it a surprise so you don't know where we're going next. Oh, okay. I see that most of you want to know where we're going next. So, are you ready? We're going to the great country of Italy. We're going to Rome. So, sit tight. That'll be fun. Looks like there's going to be a scooter. And no, I couldn't actually see you just then when I was asking you to raise your hands. I just thought that would be cute. And I guessed from knowing you that you would want to know where we were going next. So the next video will be on Monday because it's Friday, you guys. So I hope you enjoy your weekend. Parents, I've put a few new things up on the online resources Google Doc that you all have access to. And I'll add an update on Parent Square about it just in case you haven't been to that document yet. Tons of great resources. I added new ebooks that you can find from Junior Library Guild and new audiobooks that you can get from Audible for free. A lot of companies are really stepping up and providing some free stuff for all of us at home these days. So that's really fun. Final thing is to say, I hope you enjoyed my accent. Sorry to anybody who's actually from England. Sorry to Deanne, who's from South Africa and has an almost English accent. You know, that's just kind of fun as an acting exercise for me to do, but of course that's not an authentic accent. If you want to hear a real British accent, go to Peppa Pig. She's British. And other characters you might find. One are these guys on my mug. This is, well, that's Gromit, the dog, from a show called Wallace and Gromit. And I bought this mug at a grocery store in England when I was studying abroad in 1997. There's Shaun the sheep, and I forget the penguin's name. Maybe it's just called the Penguin. He's a bad guy. Parents, maybe a good time to show your kids some Wallace and Gromit if you know what that is and where to find it. There are some cute animated claymation movies. I don't know if Netflix has them, but check it out. I do know that Brain Pop has a nice video thing about Queen Elizabeth. So if you are interested in our queen, who's a cow in this, but is a real person in real life, go check out the Brain Pop on Queen Elizabeth. And of course, go to Britannica's Atlas and look around the world. You can follow along in Britannica School. Again, on that document is where you can find links to all the resources. Woo! That's it. So have a great weekend, everybody. I'm going to sit back and finish my coffee. And I hope you have a really great evening, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you next week. Mwah. Bye, guys.